This is my most requested video of all time. Recently I made a video on which Final Fantasy is the best Final Fantasy of all time, where I tried to break down some pros and cons, but didn't want to. But you've asked me to. So do you know what? F it, I'll do it. Final Fantasy 1. It's a solid RPG, literally built the foundation which Final Fantasy is built on. The only downside in it is there's not much of a story, but can you really blame it and how long ago it came out? Final Fantasy 2, they added more of a story than Final Fantasy 1 and more character development, but the encounter rate's so high, every time you take a step, you're getting face by a monster. Final Fantasy 3 introduces the much-loved job system, which gives the game so much replayability, but the story's a bit meh and there's no real character development. Final Fantasy 4 introduced some of the best storytelling in video games of its time. It has great characters and great combat, but the game forces you to play characters that it wants you to play. Final Fantasy 5 has one of the best job systems in the whole franchise, amazing characters, great story, but it takes you about halfway through the game before the story really picks up. Final Fantasy VI is considered to be one of the greatest RPGs of all time, with great character development, story, soundtrack, combat, replayability. The only downside is Square Enix hasn't given it as much love as it has its other Final Fantasy titles. Final Fantasy VII is the game that introduced the series and RPGs to many fans around the world like myself. For its time, it had groundbreaking graphics, gameplay, storytelling, soundtracks, character development, but in 2024, it's the only Final Fantasy game that has not aged well graphically. Thank God for the modding community, and thank God we're in the middle of the remake saga. Final Fantasy VIII is the game that divides the community. It has great story, great combat, one of the best minigames of all time, but the enemies level with you, and once you get your head wrapped around the junction system, the game's just not fun anymore. Final Fantasy IX is a love letter from Square to the fans. They've taken everything they've learnt from the previous Final Fantasy games, bundled them all up together into what is an amazing video game experience. The only negative thing I'll say about it is the characters look kinda dumb, and fuck that jump rope skipping bullshit fucking stupid minigame. So, what did you think? There's some of my pros and cons of the first 9 games, but what's yours? And if you disagree with me, go into the comments where we can argue. Also, part 2 coming soon, and I stream Final Fantasy every single day of the week here and on Twitch. See you there.